Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to One Hub Racing Season 24. It is the championship finale, and by the end of tonight, we will find out who is the Season 24 Drivers' Champion for the P1 tier. In the P3 tier, we had M125 that took the title. In P2, it is setting to look like it's going to be Red Map, but we will find out who's going to be the P1 tier champion as well. My name is Jesper, one of your commentators. We will have the likes of Max Ring joining us in the commentary box very, very soon. But we still got some very exciting things to take care of before we head into the main action. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. So we've got 3 drivers who are in the hunt for the Drivers' Championship. It is Ben Mills, who's currently sitting in 3rd place. We have got ERT Samba that's sitting in 2nd place. And then we've got Aiden, who's currently in the championship and is looking like to be the favourite. So, how does it look like going into this? So, Aiden's on 215 points, Samba's on 208, and Ben Mills is on 188 points. So, I've got the permutation somewhere in my document. There we go. So, if Aiden scores 29 points or more, no matter what Ben and Samba do, Aiden wins the championship. If Aiden scores 28 points, Ben is eliminated, and Samba must score maximum points to win the championship, otherwise Aiden wins. If Aiden scores 27 points, Ben is eliminated. Basically, Ben's eliminated if Aiden scores more than 8 points. And then Samba must score 15 points or more in order to take the title that way. And we will basically go through as the session goes on because it's going to be a sprint race. So if you don't know how the sprint race is going to happen, as I had so many things open, it was hard to keep up. You could see the spreadsheet that I was looking on to get all the nice info, which I'll tell you about. So, sprint race. 10 laps is going to be a completely dry sprint. Then 29 laps of a full wet to dry race. And we know in the P3 and the P2 tier, it could get very chaotic, and you've got to time your strategies absolutely perfectly in order to do it well. So it's going to be interesting there as well. We could see people running compromised setups, as there'll be quite a few people running low wings, but expect higher wings than normal compared to normal Abu Dhabi races like you have seen in the past. So a bit about this track before we get going then. First used in Formula 1 back in 2009, where we saw Sebastian Vettel took the win. Another track designed by Herman Tilke. It was redesigned in 2021 to have that very nice. They basically got rid of the chicane to in turns 4-5 area, and it's a swooping left-hander, which looks very, very lovely. I'm sure the drivers agree that it was very, very good as well. And Yas Marina Circuit was either mixed reception following the first running, with Kimi Räikkönen summing up the general reaction by saying the first few turns are quite good, but the rest is quite rubbish. But he said a different word, which I'm not going to say really. So that's a bit of information about the track. I'm not going to have time to go through all the pre-race interviews, but we are going to be focusing on our 2 championship protagonists, Aiden and Nathan Samba. Ben is still in this, but they had to choose 2 people for the rivalries, and it got to be the ones that were close in the championship. So, the question that we got asked, it was this by the press. It all comes down to this: a sprint weekend and the weather affected Abu Dhabi. How are you all feeling going into the final round? Are you hoping for instant free races, so it's just a pure pace on track? And do you expect to do well here? Have you spoken to your teammates to potentially aid your championship aspirations? So, Aiden said, I had good pace in a league race done here a few days back. However, I have no clue how the setup is going to react to the wet weather. Hopefully neither of us get caught up in any rubbish incident in the sprint, and may the best man win. With Bryn, I've not spoken tactics. As long as we do enough to do the double, that's all that matters, because they can still win the Constructors' Championship. And Samba said, just hoping to finish the race, have not talked over any tactics, we'll just go with the flow. So that was what they were, that's what they said in this. So they haven't talked much tactics with their teammates in general, which I have to say, quite surprised about that because I thought they would help each other. But obviously, we have got AlphaTauri still in the running for the Drivers' Championship Constructors. So, and if you're wondering what's going on in P2 at the moment, which you can find out on Twitch, because someone's just left the session, there is a last lap safety car. We have Kieran that's leading. Matt's going to drop way off. That could bring out interesting for the championship. Why do people keep leaving the session? Oh, okay. They're going to probably have to restart the lobby. Okay. I was going to invite Max into the lobby in a minute, but yeah, it is... it just booted everyone out of the lobby, which is very, very well. But we could keep you up to date with what's going on in P2 as well. So, yeah. Kieran leading. Then it's Red Matt. Then it's Atslot. Atslot doesn't have any penalties. And I can't remember where Atslot finished in the sprint, if someone could tell me. So we're going to have to rejoin another lobby, which is good, which gives us more time to play with and more time for us to get going and stuff like that. And more time to go for our sponsors. So we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Next Level Racing, for sponsoring the league by providing some amazing prizes such as this. The driver champion of each tier will be winning a chance to win a Next Level Racing NLR FGT worth £449. The top 3 championship prizes, they get a chance to win an FGT Lite or Wheel Stand 2.0. So thank you to Next Level Racing. Aztec Sim Sports, they're providing free merch to the winner of One Hub Racing Driver Rankings. Pure Sim Gear, they're providing prizes to the driver who wins the most combined poles or fastest laps, and they get either some gloves or some lovely socks too. And obviously our sponsor, ERT, our final season with them, but they've been so good in providing sponsoring the trophies and also partnering the ERT Going Gets Tough Award. Attend all races, finish outside top 3, and complete all pre- and post-race interviews. So, those are all of your sponsors. And just like that, don't worry, we haven't started the lobby yet because they had to restart. But joining me in the commentary box for one final time on F123, we've got Mr. Max Ring. Max, 3 drivers in still in the championship hunt. Who do you think has got this in the bag? Max, you're on mute if you're trying to speak.
No, am I alive?
Yeah, you're alive. Yeah, I will say the question again. Actually, who do you think's the favourite going into this to win the title tonight in P1 tier?
Oh, it's surely got to be Aiden. I mean, the only reason I just asked that was because you cut out when you asked the question. So thank you for asking it again, Jess. But yeah, I think Aiden's really the one with the upper hand here. I mean, it's a sprint race, so of course there's no real qualifying into this. It's going to be all about having that great race pace, and with it also being quite a tricky main Grand Prix as well, it just makes it even harder for the likes of Ben Mills and Nathan Samba to really just try close that gap, if not beat Aiden, because Abu Dhabi in the wet, it's one of a once in a game, once in a league racing career to compete in. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But yeah, I think Aiden's got a really good hand on this one, and I mean, starting only 1 place behind Nathan Samba and 2 behind Ben Mills, if he gets a good launch in the sprint, he could certainly take the upper hand heading into the feature race and starting in front of them.
Yes, I have sent you an invite to the lobby, by the way. You're in, which is good, so I can press spectate now. Can you sort out Taz as well whilst I go through the grid?
Yep, I'm just sorting that out now.
Perfect. Now, we'll go through your starting grid. I don't know why I did not have that image, so I'm going to find that again. Oh, yes, I do have the starting grid. Woohoo! Let's go, because we're about to get going. So, on pole today will be Leroy Hasselaga, then it will be ERT Arnold, then it will be Blind in 3rd place, Akita in 4th, Nick in 5th place. We've got Larkin in 6th, Matt Winter and Casper 8th, Colin in 9th, Jaco will round up your top 10. Then we got George, Bryn Evans, Lynx, Ben Mills, Nathan Samba and Aiden And then, of course, we got Konzo, who's decided to take his engine penalty at the last race. Now, maybe that's not a bad move, because there could be some carnage at the front, but there's your grid. We got the unusual people that are not used to tying on the front. Matt, so I'm keeping an eye on the likes of Lakitu and Nick and Larkin for this one, and Casper as well. Casper had a really good result last time out, just missed out on the win due to a penalty. Casper and Lakitu, these are the ones I'm keeping my eye out to do particularly well in the sprint.
Yeah, I mean, for Casper and the Lakitu, they've really picked up their form over the past few rounds. I mean, if you look at the Lakitu, before I think it was an incident out in Canada, he was having a really strong race and he had a really strong qualifying as well. So he's really been able to turn that form around since the start of the season. I think he's just got a bit more adapt to the overall league itself and the drivers around him. And also just the fact of the game itself. I mean, you can easily progress from mid-game to the end of the game quite quickly, and that's what it seems like the Lakitu and Casper both have done, and they've really been able to show their strengths at the end of this season. But we'll have to wait and see what they do. Of course, this sprint does favour them overall, with their starting positions being in front of those quicker guys, meaning they could be able to hold on to those positions, especially in that feature race as well, where, say, Lakitu, Larkin, even the likes of Blind and Hazelager, they could also be good in the wet, so that could certainly help them when it comes into the actual feature race itself as well. But of course, we got this sprint race. I think it's 10 laps of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix circuit.
That is correct.
This will be the only dry running they'll get, and then it's straight into the wet weather. So expect a lot of drivers to be using those wet setups in this dry Grand Prix. So expect maybe a few of them to go on the mediums just to counter the overheating on the tyres they might get.
Yeah, I think it's the overheat is going to be the issue, and obviously compromising its setups, tyre pressures. I mean, you do not want to run any tyre pressure at all, as we are about to get underway for the final sprint race of the season. And we are go. Let's see who gets a great start. It's Arnold that gets the launch in towards turn one, but can Leroy sweep it around the outside of Arnold? No, not quite. We've got Blind right in the thick of it as well. Leroy almost drawn off. The track's going to be free wide. There's contact in the background, and Samba was right in the back of this, but it was Lynx that made contact. Lakitu already up to third. Still going towards the newly profiled left-hander as well. Arnold getting a bit of no, it was Lakitu getting a bit of understeer. Oversteer into that corner, but Lakitu's up to third. Nick has got a good start. In fourth, Larkin is in this as well. Going side by side, what about our championship protagonists? Nathan and Ben, not the best start. Aiden up to 12th, so he's benefited from this. Top 12 get points. Here comes Arnold to the inside. Great move from him, but Blind takes the move back from him. And Blind takes the lead of this Grand Prix. Lakitu trying to come back as well. Larkin is dropping way down the order. Same with Leroy Hasselhagen, which is not ideal. But what a start from Blind and Lakitu as they make their way towards turn 9.
Really hectic start here in the Middle East, and Nathan Samba has just got past both Colin and Bryn in the space of turn 9. Cars all over the road as here comes Aiden to the outside of Nick. He's all over the curb. He's been a little bit of contact made between the pair. Nick isn't letting this one go, but Aiden on the inside then for turn 13 goes through, and Nathan Samba still following the AlphaTauri. Aiden is being used as a battering ram here for Nathan Samba. Aiden gets the move done. Nathan's like, thank you very much. I'll capitalise on that one. And he's now up into 10th place just behind his championship rival. But Aiden at the moment with the upper hand. His other championship rival, Ben Mills, down the back of the field. As that is also, I think that's Arnold having a spin on the exit of turn 1. Don't know if there's any contact made in that one. He's now down to 14th place, but it's still Blind that leads the way from the Lakitu. But the man on the mediums, the Lakitu, could be stronger come the end of this sprint race. And for Nathan Samba, he's now going to be looking to make a move on his championship rival. But Aiden could still be looking at Casper in front. We'll have a look going down into turns 6 and 7. Nathan Samba's going to go late on the brakes to the inside of his championship rival. There's contact made. Nathan Samba all over the curb. Luckily, his car's still all in one piece, as now Bryn might now help out his teammate and attack the Ferrari in front. But it doesn't seem like he be very hectic opening 2 laps to this Grand Prix as Konzo gets past Colin in the background, but it's still Blind that leads away from Lakitu, and Leroy Hazelager in third as George has just dropped behind Larkin, but Larkin to the inside. Can George hold this one around the outside and do what Aiden did just a lap ago? Yes, he can, I would say. Through the next left-hander. No, Larkin really nicely done around the outside. Contact made though. George has been spun round. He's down to 13th place now, and Larkin keeps 4th, but still a very, very hectic start. The top 2 starting to break away from the Red Bull of Hazelager as Casper is now being attacked not only by Aiden,
VSC.
not only by Nathan, but Bryn. There's a VSC, and I think that might be for George or Arnold, who made another mistake.
One of the two, yeah. I think it was potentially them currently, and that is a bit of a shame. I've got a nice present for you, Max. I've got a spreadsheet where it automatically calculates the points, so we will know who is champion and we can note down everything. So yeah, we could then think, is anyone in a position to do well, as it were, as well. DRS enabled, so safety car. Well, VSC has been ended and no drive-through, which is great to see. And Blind is pulling away from Lakitu right now. And Ben Mills, unfortunately, if he stays where he is, he's going to be eliminated from championship contention, which is not the best situation. But we got Bryn side by side with Casper. Aiden's already made his way past Samba, but also Mata. Aiden is absolutely flying. There was some races he even said in the pre-race interviews where he got lucky in terms of strategy, and he felt like it was lucky wins more than anything. But he points his car in all the right places, and it's helped him a little bit as Aiden is up to 5th place. Don't forget, Ben Mills had that penalty last week due to an incident he had with Aiden early on in the Canadian Grand Prix race last time out, as won lap 4 out of 10. Blind spawning away a 1.5 second gap. And don't forget, this is the grid for the main Grand Prix, and Blind is on the softs. That's not the tyres I would have gone for, but very brave from him. I'm going to keep, like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on Lakitu right here. I have to say, Leroy is doing so well. I know he started on pole, but I was not expecting him to really hold on to that, as Arnold does get a penalty, by the way, as Samba tries to go down the inside of Leroy Hazelager in towards past the chicane. Well, it's kind of the right left-hander, but here we go. Samba is already up into 5th place and chasing down the championship rival once again.
Yeah, these two just inseparable at the moment of Aiden and Nathan. Samba, Mata versus Bryn. Mata all over the curb at turn 7, gets a good exit load as Bryn, and he now moves past the Williams driver, and Casper could look for a move as well. Larkin being overtaken there by Aiden. Of course, Aiden had that DRS there, and there goes Nathan Samba following Aiden through once again. These two really are inseparable at the moment. No one can stand in their way. And next on Aiden's list is going to be the Aston Martin, the guy we said to look out for, of Lakitu. I mean, I'm very surprised by the way Aiden and Nathan have been able to carve their way through the field in these opening 4 laps of the sprint. I was thinking they would still be around about 7th or 8th by now and not in the top 4 positions, as Aiden now sets the new fastest lap of this Grand Prix. But of course, you got Blind up in front. He's 1.5 seconds clear of Lakitu, so he could be someone harder to chase down as Bryn gets past Hazelager. Hazelager dropping down a few places over these past few laps. He's down to 7th place now as there's a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that's for George once more. Been a horrid sprint race for the Ferrari driver, but a prancing horse does have another chance at racing at the front in the feature race in those wet weather conditions, what we have talked about. But for Aiden, he's now chasing down Lakitu. He's brought that gap down by about a second over the past half a lap or so. So he is really reeling in the Aston Martin in front. So expect maybe at the end of this straight or the next one, he could certainly be by the Aston Martin, and we'll have to wait and see. As here he comes then with the DRS down into turn 9. Is he going to get the move done? He's going to look for it, though, as Lakitu runs a little bit wide. Hazelager's past Bryn, Casper's past Mata, but Aiden needs to look in his mirrors as well, because there's a very racy, very aggressive Nathan Samba who'll do whatever it takes to win this championship and get ahead of his championship rival. They're now heading through this final sector now. Lakitu leading this train just about with a big amount of pressure, a huge amount of pressure from not only Aiden, but the other championship rival with Nathan Samba as well. But so far, so good for Lakitu. He managed to lead those two for another lap. It's lap 6 of 10. He's helping out Blind massively here. But I think those soft tyres have started to die on the Haas driver, I think, Jess, because Lakitu is starting to reel in that gap, and that could help him if he's able to get DRS within the next few corners.
Yeah, we are. I think we're seeing on our TAS system as well where he's struggling a little bit, but he's going to get points deduction because guess what? He's done TAS incorrectly once again. So yeah, he's going to get a penalty for that, which is a shame. But he's doing so well. Look he's dominating at the moment, but yeah, he's around about the 30-40% mark. As Nathan Samba brings his past Lakitu up into third place, and it's going to be really tight between the pair of them as to who's going to win this title. But Samba needs to get past Aiden in order to stand a chance, really. So here comes Nathan Samba to the left-hander. He's not going to go for it just yet. We've got Leroy and Bryn fighting once again. Bryn goes around the left-hand side into past turn 9 and 10. Bryn does get past Leroy eventually, but it's a great fight between the pair of them. Leroy could fight back with the lovely helicopter shot you are seeing by the hotel section. It is absolutely brilliant if you want to watch racing in Abu Dhabi, as we've got Aiden closing in on blind ever so slightly, so it could be a three-way fight for the race win here as well. Lakitu following suit at the moment. Imagine where Lakitu would have been if his form carried over from the start of the season. He would have definitely been in championship contention. They make their way towards now turn number 3. Very long and tight and twisty. You've got to be half full through here. You don't go full, because otherwise it could be trouble, as Aiden almost went for a move into the left-hander, but couldn't quite do it. But I don't think Aiden's going to use DRS just yet, but he's got Samba who's looking to capitalise. And it's going to be free wide. It's going to be free wide into the tight chicane. Here comes Nathan to the left, Aiden to the right. Who's going to get the advantage heading into the first DRS zone? Looks like it's going to be Aiden, but they make a bit of contact. But I think no harm done between the pair of them right now, as Samba is going to have the DRS, I think, heading in towards this next straight towards turn 8 and 9. Here he comes then, to the right-hand side, swoops down the left-hander, and he gets past and into the lead of this race. We got a yellow flag. I don't know who it's for, but Samba starting from near 17th on, well, probably less than that due to a few absentees, but from about 50th on the grid, Samba's already leading this Grand Prix. He's doing what he did in Baku, Max.
Yeah, really nicely done there from Nathan Samba to move up into first place, but he's still got to hold on to this race lead. Of course, getting past Aiden's one thing, a big slide from the Ferrari man as he's exiting that final corner, a bit like Max Verstappen on the final lap of Abu Dhabi 2021, where he had that big slide just before he crossed the finish line on that last lap. But Nathan Samba, yes, he's taken the race lead, but now he needs to defend from the AlphaTauri of Aiden, who will have 2 goes with DRS, and Aiden can really save a bit of battery here, Jess, and just overall go for an attack on that final lap of proceedings. Sit within the DRS now and just wait all the way till lap 10. Of course, it's only 2 laps away from now, as Aiden all over the back of him. He's going to be late on the brakes into the 6 and 7 chicane, and he just needs to get a good exit out of here. Make sure he sticks within that DRS, maybe use a burst of battery, 2 or 3%, to get closer to the back of that Ferrari and just sit behind him through that final sector for another lap, and just wait all the way to lap 10 and then use all the battery he would have saved. Nathan Samba takes a different line to Aiden. That's what I like about this circuit. A bit like how it was in real life today about China, is that this circuit, you can take so many different lines through some of the corners, and they all somewhat work out just as well as one another, as Casper's able to get past Leroy Hazelager there for 7th place. Hazelager, unfortunately, since his early start to this race, I think he might have picked up a bit of damage due to understeer. He's just dealing with some tyre overheating at the moment, but he really is understeering all over the road at the moment. It's the Red Bull. Unfortunate to see for him, and he certainly could be on a wet setup, which is causing those understeer issues. George has made another error. He's now a lap down to nearly everybody. Just needs to be lapped by Arnaud, but now we see, will Aiden go for the move this time around? Does he believe he'll be able to defend it next lap? Or is he just going to sit behind the prancing horse once more? DRS open for the AlphaTauri man. He's going to keep getting closer and closer as this straight ticks by. Is he going to go for the move? He's getting closer. He's eating into that. Oh, and Nathan Samba tried forcing his arrival into a move there, but Aiden sitting behind. He wants to wait for this final lap here, Jess, and so far it's looking so good because he's only 4 tenths behind. If he can get that DRS down into turn 9 next lap with his battery, he certainly can make the move stick and win this sprint race.
Yes, because of course, the sprint race win is worth 12 points. So that is going to be interesting indeed. And if Aiden scores 11 points, Samba must score 18 points at this stage. And it will keep going up and up and up, which is exciting. And I don't think Ben is in any chance to win a title, unfortunately. He would have needed to have scored at least 28 points, and he's down in 11th. So that is heart-wrenching for Ben Mills to be in this position. But it is the luck of the draw sometimes, unfortunately, as we're on the final lap of the sprint race. Pretty clean from a lot of drivers, as we're seeing Blinders going wide, and he's got a free-ticket penalty for it, which will allow Larkin to get onto the podium and start third in the feature race. Here we go then, down to the left-hander once more. Aiden is going to be using his battery like a madman, and just like he did in the sprint race in Baku, Nick is out of the Grand Prix. Don't know what happened there, but hopefully it was not contact with anybody. Well, sure, the stewards could investigate that one, but Aiden is choosing not to use DRS going into this first part of the chicane, but he's going to use it here. He's right on the gearbox. Matt's getting past Casper in the background, but that is not the battle that we want to see right now. Aiden gets another dose of DRS. He's going to the left. He's using his overtake. He's hardly got any ERS to play with. Round the left-hand side, can he keep his line? Going in towards turn 9 and 10. That will they make a bit of contact? Oh my goodness, that was so tight. But that could have been curtains, but luckily it wasn't curtains. That could have been a Larkin victory.
Your
but
car's
Aiden,
in a straight line there.
Yeah, that was very tight, I have to say. But Aiden exits the final few corners. He's going to get maximum 12 points in the sprint race. But will that be investigated by the stewards? I don't know. But for now, Aiden wins the sprint race and 12 points. Samba in second, Larkin third, Lakitu fourth, Bryn in fifth. And we got Blind, Casper, Matta, Leroy, and someone's having a car park at the moment. But Casper in seventh, not too bad for him. Matta in eighth, Leroy in ninth, and Ben, unfortunately, as Aiden scored 12 points, Ben, unfortunately, is eliminated from title contention, which means we have just 2 drivers in the running for the driver's title, Aiden and Nathan Samba. What do you think, Max?
Very interesting sprint race there. The way Nathan and Aiden were just able to carve their way through the field there in those 10 laps so quickly was just something incredible to watch. And just overall, we've got this feature race coming up, and it's going to be down to the wire between the pair of them. Starting on the front row, very tricky conditions around a tricky circuit. I feel sorry for Ben Mills. He tried everything this.
I think he
Although he was 5 seconds behind the field.
I think he cut off for me.
Point.
Carry on. Discord's being a nightmare today.
It is being a nightmare, isn't it? I mean, you keep cutting off for me, so yeah, it's being an absolute pain in the bottom is Discord. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I feel sorry for Ben Mills, but as you say, it's the luck of the draw, and you just got to be on your A game and keep consistent throughout it all, keep out of incidents, and unfortunately he didn't. So for Aiden and Nathan, it's going to be a heavyweight battle between them, trading blow for blow throughout the race, but we'll see what happens. But Aiden strengthening his gap by 1 singular point, I think. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, so here's your order then. Aiden wins the sprint race from Nathan Samba, from Larkin, from Lakitu, from Bryn, Blind, Casper, Matta, Leroy, Ben Mills in the top 10. Colin and Links get the final points in the sprint race. There we got Konzo, who didn't make his way very well after his engine penalty. And then Arnold and someone else. I do believe Nick is still classified, though, even though he retired. So that is probably a bonus for that regard. So now we get to the good stuff. And you're probably thinking, why is it raining in Abu Dhabi where it's only a 1 or 2% chance? Well, it is adaptive weather system. We've been running the wheel through the entirety of the season, and the luck of the draw has provided us with a wet Abu Dhabi. And that is going to be the final race on F123. Of course, we will have the All-Star race, which I don't know what date it's going to be yet. So we still got another race to end with in One Hub Racing. But in general competitive action, we have some wet weather action. I'm excited for this. Visibility is going to be difficult. We have our top 2 in championship contention, starting on the front row. Is going to be epic. The gap now is 8 points, separating Aiden and Samba. That's it. If one driver makes a mistake, that can hand the title to the other driver. As we're about to get started, I was about to throw to you, but they were very keen to get going. I'm really sorry. 5 red lights. Action in Abu Dhabi. Ada gets a good start from Nathan Samba towards turn number 1. Nathan decides to stay behind for now to make sure he doesn't get involved in any misdemeanors. Bryn's gone wide, but he's going side by side with the Kitu up to 4th place. He's gone wide. Casper up to 7th place. We start to see the wet setups for some people really come into play here. And look at the treacherous conditions. You can barely see. Ben Mills, by the way, is up into 8th place. Lakitu is dropped down into 5th. Samba, by the way, on the exit of turn 6, is past Aiden and is up into the lead of this Grand Prix. It's a great start for him. He is on another level right now, but Aiden's still right on the back of this. Could he get past on the left-hand side? They got to lead the room here in towards that heavy chicane towards turn 7. Still a bit of contact there. They're banging wheels, but this is racing in a way as well. Larkin still managed to hold on to the 3rd place. Heading towards past turn 8, in towards turn number 9. Can Ada go for the sweeping left-hander and go around the outside? Still a bit of contact, still banging wheels. This is great racing for the pair of them. But Samba still takes the lead. He's struggling a little bit with Overseer, but Lynx is dropped down into 16th place. A horrific start from him. But Nathan is controlling the pack right now.
Yeah, really nicely done there from Nathan to jump Aiden in that opening lap. And overall, he just really was able to hang on to that one quite nicely. It was harsh but fair racing. So that's something you like to see, is that little bit of rubbing onto each other where you just somewhat bang wheels slightly and make a little bit of contact. That's what you love to see in racing, is when they're so aggressive with each other, but they know where the limit is in that respect. So it's really nicely done there from Nathan Samba. He's got a 6/10 lead now over Aiden. It's now all about dialing into a rhythm in this Grand Prix, because of course it's the wet weather around Abu Dhabi. You're going to hardly know what the rhythm is like and where to brake and what the track feels like. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Aiden, of course, late on the brakes to see if he can catch up to Nathan Samba through turn 5. And it's all going to be about these exits out of these longer corners, the likes of turn 5 and turn 9, and also the off-cambered corner of turn 13 and 14. So that's really where time's going to be won and lost on the traction points around a circuit like this. So we're going to have to wait and see, as Blind with a move on Larkin there. Larkin's going to try hold it to the inside through turn 7. The Alpine, can he hold on to this one? No, he cannot. Blind has been able to get in front of the Alpine man, who's in 4th place now. But here comes Larkin to the outside once more. Aiden must have made a mistake because he's now 1.2 seconds behind Nathan Samba. But here comes Larkin round the outside. You got to look out for Bryn as well, who might capitalise if Larkin makes a mistake. A big slide from the AlphaTauri as the Alpine cuts across, and it stays as it was between Blind, Larkin and Bryn. 3rd, 4th and 5th, as the Kitu is 1 second back, and he's got Ben Mills all over the back of him. Ben with a really good start to this feature race. Same with George as well. George from the back of the grid up into 8th place. Brilliant start from the Prancing Horses.
I think that's probably predicting that he's gone for a complete wet setup, which is to be expected, as we got the likes of Bryn, who's passed Larkin once again, and Ben Mills up to 6th place. He's probably gone for a wet setup as well. But for some people, they can't really compromise on having a complete wet setup for the wet, because they're going to struggle in the dry. So they've got to change the wings in order to make sure that they can run well in the dry conditions. So that's what some people have done. So if I were then maybe completely changing the wings, will be better. It is almost headed towards the crossover point as predicted. I think in about a few laps time, potentially, we will see drivers go onto the intermediate tyres. It did come around about lap 5-6 for P2 and P3 tier, but it may come slightly later for every other tier, as we could see George going for moves. Arnold's already made his way past Colin up into 9th spot, but the gap is already up by 1.1 seconds. This is minuscule stuff. I am going to wait to put down the information for the points because it is just so great between these two at the moment. It may come down to how they're like in the dry. We know how Samba is brilliant in the dry as well. And Blind just pulling off his great best result of the season so far. 3rd place. He's loving those wet conditions. And he's about 4 tenths behind, well, clear of Bryn. But Bryn's right on the gearbox. And I think it's almost going to be certain that Bryn's going to get past him.
Yeah, it certainly is. Bryn has got a lot more pace than Blind in this Grand Prix at the moment, but Blind still holding on very strongly. Aiden's brought that gap back down to Nathan Samba. It's now 8 tenths of a second, so I think Aiden's quite strong in that final sector, but loses it somewhat in the middle, so he's just struggling for traction there. Bryn into the back of Blind as we head into turn 1. Of course, it doesn't really matter where you make your moves in the wet around Abu Dhabi, because of course there is no DRS, but Konzo is retired, and that is going to bring out a virtual safety car. This could maybe see some drivers gamble for the intermediates if it stays out for long enough. I don't think it will, but quite a surprising crash there for Konzo. Maybe went a little bit too hot into turn 11, and it's cost him big time. And he is our first retirement from the Grand Prix and from the 2 races as well. So unfortunate for the McLaren driver, been a season to forget for him. And for Konzo, that is not the way he would have wanted to end his season. But now, let's see how this gap flows under the VSC. Will Aiden be able to hold off enough and get a good enough delta to stick with Nathan Samba? Or will Nathan Samba be able to fly away by holding up the AlphaTauri man slightly? We'll wait and see. But at the moment, Aiden is all over the back of Nathan Samba. We'll wait till the safe VSC ends. And that's where we'll see the real delta. Oh no, it's a full safety car.
All right. The one race where I don't have the track map on, we get a full safety car.
It's just changed to a full safety car.
Right. I know what I would do here, and I'm completely annoyed that I didn't do this in the sprint, in the feature when I was racing. Box for inters. I know it's not enough for inters now, but it will be.
But yeah, it only just switched to full course safety car as they're entering turn 9. Let's see.
Yeah, they're coming in. Yeah, they're coming in for inters.
Intermediate tyres will be on to play. Aiden might go for a move. Aiden, what a move! He's pulled off a Sebastian Vettel, and Aiden has jumped Nathan Samba under the safety car with a live overtake. Aiden, take a bow in one of the most trickiest pit lanes to do that. It's very narrow, and Colin's been disqualified. He's overshot. He's overshot the pit lane. Oh, Colin!
Oh no, Colin! He got disqualified.
It's a rookie error from Colin.
That is gutting.
For Aiden, that could certainly be the move of the season, the move that wins him the title.
I think that could be. What a move there. I did see someone do that to me in a fun little race I did around China in the F2s, and I was annoyed when it happened originally, but it was just well timed as well. It was a good job, and Aiden looked so committed as well. So let's look. It's Storm. I don't think it's Inters. I don't know.
Is that why the safety car got deployed if it's storm conditions?
It might be. Because in all the other tiers, we've had it Inters come now.
It is still a heavy downpour.
Let me look at Taz.
Has the key to an Arnold absolutely masterclass at the strategy?
They might have done, but they have to stop like twice. It says track temperature right. It still says storm.
Wow.
Oh no. Could Lakitu and Arnold play a gold mine here? I think we could see a free stop here. This is probably one of the first races where it's gone a different way. Because in the other tiers, it was Inters at this point. Which shows that being on approximate, things could change. I kind of wish I had a mind reader or a weather forecaster to know what it's going to be. Because it doesn't even say light rain at all on the TAS. Things are just baffling me at the moment. But Aiden, so we got Lakitu in. So Lakitu is in. He's going on for Inters 2. So the only one that stayed out is Arnold. I think it could be getting Inters very, very soon, actually. But you never know. I'll be interested to get your thoughts in the chat as I'm just getting points out. So at the moment, Aiden is second place. He's got 18 points. Samba is third on 15. Oh, at 15. So the gap will be 11 points. So Aiden at this stage will win the P1 tier title. And it is light rain conditions, I do believe. There's hardly any standing water. So we thought now made a strategic masterclass here, but it actually turned out to be the wrong one. It looks like there's hardly any standing water and it is intermediate conditions.
Yeah, in that space of a lap, the conditions have changed massively. It was a torrential downpour and now it's light rain. So for Arnold, it looked like he made the strategy work, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to. But yeah, safety car in at the end of this lap. We'll go back to green flag racing. And for Aiden, he has really hit the masterclass on the strategy, but also with a really nice move, a really opportunistic one as well. That could have easily went oh so wrong for him if he wasn't able to pull that off. But he needs to get past Arnold as soon as possible so that Arnold does hold up Nathan Samba ever so slightly. So when does Arnold go? That is going to be the main question. As Ben Mills, has he made a mistake? He's dropped down behind George, Hazelager and Matter. What's happened
Weird.
there, Jess?
I don't know what's happened there. So I wonder if he went wide under safety car, but we will have to wait and see as we got the safety car. Arnold has to come in, which is so gutting for him. But he's going to lose so much more time if he stays out because he's going to get absolutely swamped by a herd of intermediate tyre runners in towards the first corner. Arnold's going to choose when he goes, and he's going right now. Here comes Aiden and Nathan on a charge in towards turn number 1. There's a bit of contact. It sends Arnold flying into the runoff area, but Aiden in P1, Samba in second, Blind in third, Bryn in fourth, Lark in fifth, George in sixth. Arnold's dropped down into 7th place, but the conditions are getting a lot favourable for the drivers to manage, as linked, by the way, side by side with Nick, and I think he does get past him. Leroy Hasselaar gets past Arnold. Arnold's getting absolutely treacherous by a lot of these drivers, which is a shame, but it's a 10th gap now between Aiden and Nathan Samba. Nathan dives it up the inside. Nobody's not going to go for it, but his teammate is. George on Larkin. Could he go for the switchback of dreams here as Larkin tries to cover off him on the exit, which he does nicely. But George gets the better run here in towards the middle of turn 8. He's going to get the traction that he needs as Nathan Samba goes for the lead. Nathan Samba gets the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I probably cut off for you there.
Yep, you did.
Yeah, I was saying Nathan Samba leads the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah, stupid Discord at the moment is having an absolute nightmare, but for Nathan Samba, really nicely worked, and he just seems to have better pace than Aiden at the minute here, Jess. Overall, when it comes to the wet weather pace, he really is just in a field above and a class above Aiden at the moment. Bryn is able to get past Blind into the final corner. A really nice move there done by him, but you can tell how rare it is for the rain to happen around Abu Dhabi. because you can see somewhat of the effects a lot more dramatically on this game. I've realised it seems like it's monsoon conditions off the racing line, but on the racing line it's perfectly fine. But Bryn picking up a 3-second time penalty that could hurt his race come the end of the Grand Prix in case we get any more safety cars. This is mainly going to be about don't pick up the penalties, because if there's a late safety car due to a collision, you could certainly gain quite a few places. But at the moment, Aiden happy to sit behind Nathan probably. He's now got Bryn as his rear gunner as well. So Aiden in a very comfortable position here, Jess, with Nathan Samba still leading the race. But at the moment, Aiden will still be champion.
Yeah, Aiden will still be champion as it stands because, of course, Aiden did win at the sprint race and Samba finished in second. So I think in order for this to happen, Aiden will need to finish, I think, 4th or 5th in order for Samba to be crowned champion. So, but we did have some news for the P2 title. The Constructors was crowned last week, but we do have a Drivers' Champion in the form of Red Matt. So huge congratulations to him. Our second champion being crowned tonight, drivers-wise. We will have one more being crowned in about half an hour's time, as Ben Mills gets past Arnold. He's struggling a little bit in these conditions right now, so we probably had to pit due to damage, unfortunately. But no DRS, of course. We are starting to see some dry lines potentially forming in a few laps' time, but Samba's not pulling away from Aiden like I thought he would. And don't forget, Bryn's got that penalty, and we've been talking in the rivalries how Aiden's not sure how Bryn is going to help him. This could be a good situation with Bryn's penalty here. And also, AlphaTauri want those constructors' points. George gets past Larkin, and George is going to do all he can to make sure that Nathan's title goes in as well. So we got the second drivers really coming into play here as Matta gets past Leroy up into 9th place, and Casper decided to join the fray as well to the left-hand side into the chicane. And it's going to be a very tight move for Leroy and Casper. They've been fighting before in other leagues, and Casper gets the upper hand. Through they go in towards turn 8 and 9. And all Leroy can send it up the inside, maybe in towards turn 9, becomes the outside line. And I think Casper's going to have this one, or maybe not. Leroy could get the switch back on Casper in towards turn 10 and 11. They're still going side by side into the hotel section. Leroy late on the brakes. But, they make a bit of contact. That was very close between the pairs. I'm not going to be contact. But they just about avoided each other, and they just about avoided the wall.
Yeah, really nicely done there between Casper and Leroy to keep that one out of the wall and keep out of one another's way properly to stop any form of damage being caused. Of course, on lap 10 of 29 now, and we are absolutely flying through this race at the moment, actually, lap counter-wise, because felt like only just 2 minutes ago we were on lap 5 of the Grand Prix. But no, we're on lap 10. It's been an all-right restart for most of the drivers. Aiden's still sticking with Nathan Samba up at the front. The gap is now 0.8 of a second as they exit turn 5. I think it's going to be the top 2 really in a race of their own. And then Bryn just in no man's land. He's too quick for the cars behind at the moment, but too slow to catch up to the top 2. So it's unfortunate there for Bryn, but overall he'll be happy with a podium finish after how recent races have gone. Lakitu now making a move on Hazelager. He's now up into 10th place as the Aston Martin, and Hazelager has been dropping back massively in this Grand Prix. Just no confidence in that car at all. Ben Mills down in 13th place. He's really not had a fun time here in Abu Dhabi, as here comes Arnold on the Williams, man. He's going to look to the inside line, but no, the Aston Martin not able to get that move done. Nathan Samba now breaking a second between him and Aiden as we're on lap 10 of 29, and so far everybody from that safety car restart still in the race, but everyone's really starting to spread out now here, Jess, getting into their own rhythms. And I would say give it a few more laps till the drivers have to pit again. And has the rain stopped? Yeah, the rain's just stopped, I think. Or it's just not coming up on my screen, Jess.
The rain has stopped. You're not seeing things. The rain has stopped really early. But don't forget, we had a safety car. So that's prolonged the time where we were going to... Because it was expected to be a few laps after... But that means...
The track's going to dry out rapidly now.
It's drying rapidly. We could see I'm looking at the TAS to see it rose. The track temperatures rose on lap 11 as yellow flag. That was Leroy, who's lost a bit of ground, unfortunately.
I think he spun heading out of turn 3 there.
Yeah,
I think
he did.
might have tried going flat out and it's not gone his way at all. But
no,
the track's going to dry out rapidly now because, of course,
track temperatures increase, Max. 25 to 26 degrees.
Yeah, and also, look at the dry line that was formed already by just them driving around while the rain was still coming down. So,
yeah,
I would say give it 2, maybe 3 more laps. We could certainly be on a dry circuit, and we could maybe see the slick tyres come out, and this could benefit Aiden here, because all Aiden needs, he's very quick in the dry from what we saw in the sprint. That's what he needs. He's been struggling slightly in these wet weather conditions, so if he gets a bit of dry running, he certainly could catch back up to Nathan Samba. But yeah, it's very weird how offline it still looks like it's raining. I don't know if that's just
George is in! George is in the pits! Bryn's in! So our second drivers are going to be the guinea pigs.
That is very smart by both Bryn and George to be the guinea pigs and to tell them both Nathan Samba and Aiden what the tyres feel like. Of course, they don't have to make another pit stop. Of course, this being a 2-stop league, everyone has made at least 1 stop. Nick onto the medium compounder tyres. I think it might still be a little bit too wet, but using Bryn and George as guinea pigs, and then they can literally say, oh yeah, the crossover point has begun. That certainly could be massive for both Nathan Samba and Aiden, but it's all about who can keep their car on the road. And crucially, Jess, George and Bryn cannot, and I mean this with all seriousness and just for competitiveness, DRS has been enabled, that is a key sign, but they cannot put the car into the wall and mess up this whole plan and maybe retire the car and bring out a safety car, because that could just really, overall, hurt both of their drivers' races. Maybe not Aiden's, but certainly could hurt Nathan's if George does put it into the wall. But we'll have to wait and see. Track still looks quite damp. I don't think it's
Rain is closing on
Lakitu just yet.
Rain is closing on Lakitu, so even though it's not maybe the right...
Nathan and Aiden in. Nathan and Aiden in. Nathan nearly into the wall in the pit lane entry. He really overcooked that.
He almost did a call-in. At the moment, the gap is 5 points. Going into this, yellow flag, that is, oh no, that's legs. He almost did a call in there. But he just about avoided that. I figure it's definitely slicks because the pit is bone dry. And at the space for a few laps, it suddenly becomes from inters to dries. So here they come then. Nathan Samba and Aiden, P1 and P2 in this Grand Prix, has got a 1.2 second gap. As Ben Mills has retired from the session, and that brings out her safety car. It's not affected the top 2 very much because they still came out in the lead. It not affected anyone, to be honest, and it didn't change anything. But we got our second safety car of this Grand Prix, and yeah, it's completely bone dry. We get another reset, as it were, and it's going to be very, very exciting. And if you have penalties, you're pretty much screwed. And for Blind, Larkin and Casper, they made a big gamble going on the hards. On the medium, sorry. I don't think mediums could get to the Grand Prix.
Mediums to the it's a risky one. I think it could be doable. Because of course we've got this safety car now. It'll bring down the amount of laps you need to do on them. So I think it will just be doable, but it will still be a big push. You do need to save those tyres slightly. But do you know how Ben Mills retired? Just like how Colin got disqualified. He overshot the pit lane. And poor Ben Mills, he crashed into the pit lane entry.
But he loses out on 3rd in the standings.
Really? Who's is that Bryn behind him in 4th?
It's... Actually, no, he won't. The gap's too big. Never mind.
No, I thought the gap was too big because
so Bryn, so it is Link's the nearest driver. Then it is Bryn. Yeah, so Ben will still get 3rd in the standings. We know that.
Okay, so Ben, I mean, he'll be happy with 3rd in the standings. Of course, coming into this season, he just said he wanted a few podiums, maybe even a race win, and he's completed that. So for Ben Mills, he's done what he's wanted from this season. Unluckily,
his first DNF as well.
Go for the championship. And, nearly 100% finishing streak has just gone.
Yeah, because he was in the points for every single race. apart from tonight.
Oh,
That's
for
gutting.
Ben Mills, that's so gutting for him. If he kept that straight, that would have showed that consistency is key to keep you in the championship battle. But it's unfortunate for Ben Mills, but that's how the season goes. He'll probably bounce back on the next game and try to go 2 places better in the championship and try win it all. But a very good rookie display from Ben Mills in P1 tier, so he could be happy with how his season's gone. But yeah, just not the greatest of final races for him, but it happens. And for Arnaud, he's now picked up a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial for him. But now, with this dry running, this throws everything up into the air here, Jess, because I reckon some drivers might have been expecting at least a wet race till about lap 20, lap 21. And we're on the dries already, so the drivers that have gone on the wet weather setup, they've really shot themselves in the foot here, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they have, because they were expecting for the wets to be a lot longer as well. So this is going to be sprint race part 2, because we saw 10 laps a bit earlier and we get it again. But this time, we got a lot of people on the hards. We got Blind Larkin and Casper on the mediums. It's going to be a tall order. We have seen people do it well in the P3 tier, but the safety car came in a bit later and the track was still drying up, so they were able to have cooler tyres, and the mediums were able to get to the end for a few people who were very quick. But for this tier, it's quite an even playing field. I'm starting to think that this is not the weather we were supposed to get. I thought we were going to get midnight conditions, because this is random conditions, it looks like, according to the game. But can't complain, as Leroy Hasselager goes into pit lane, as he is going to go onto mediums as Nick gets a 3-second time penalty. Not ideal. Now, I'm still betting my money on Aiden winning the championship. The gap's now 5 points. And also, don't forget, there is a point for fastest lap. Who does that belong to at the moment? Fastest lap does belong to Nathan Samba. So the gap will become down to 4 points.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, because if Aiden makes a mistake, drops down a few places, Nathan Samba's now on to championship winning contention. It's going to be so exciting to see. And for Aiden, he really just needs to keep this car on the road and in second place, because it just means he'll be able to win this one. And for him, that's all he wants to do, is keep that car on the road. And if he's able to do so, he's got his rear gunner and Brim behind him, and he certainly can win this championship. He had one hand on it heading into Abu Dhabi. He extended that lead into the feature race, but Nathan Samba is doing everything he can, and you can't fault him. He's doing everything so far possible to try win this championship. But at the moment, Aiden is just too good for him, and the top 2 in the championship, first and second, just the other way around from what they are in those championship standings.
Yeah, this is going to get very intense indeed. By the way, the sea looks glorious around here in these type of conditions. But when will the safety car come in? I think it's going to stay out another lap. I don't think it... Oh, no, it's going to come in this lap. Never mind. So, here we go then. Nathan Samba is going to be the one who's going to be the Burt Mylander. He is the fastest man out on circuit. But he needs Aiden to drop down massively in order for Samba to claim this title. Aiden has already got 12 points. Samba must score 19 points to win the championship. It's going to be a tall order, but it depends on how much Aiden scores in this part of the race. Nathan Samba has gone. Samba has gone, and Bryn must be a rear gunner to Aiden at this point, because otherwise Aiden is going to struggle. George to the inside of Matter, in towards turn 2, gets past him into 6th place. Casper struggling a little bit in the background, but he's on the fresher tyres on the mediums. I would expect him to climb his way up through the ranks right now as we head towards the right-hander of turn 5 and 6. Casper to the inside of Matter gets into 7th place, but they switch positions once again like no tomorrow here as well. This is great stuff. We've already lost 3 drivers, but we've got the rest of them that's trying to make some great moves as Blind gets past Bryn in the braking zone, and Blind is up into 3rd place in this Grand Prix. Nicely timed from him. No penalty as well. And I am keeping an eye on penalties. The top two, completely clean. Whereas Blind, I don't know at the moment. But this is great stuff from Blind to beat in podium contention. And he's catching up to the top two.
Yeah, Blind on those mediums has really good pace at the moment. So maybe those medium tyres have worked out well for him in this opening phase of the safety car restart. He's really good in these dry conditions, is Blind. I'm actually quite surprised here. He didn't really show the best pace against these top two in the sprint, but was that just him conserving his tyres? And of course, being on those softs as well, they did degrade quite quickly. So now we see Blind somewhat on a tyre that can make it to the end of this Grand Prix, attacking, and around this circuit, he has the pace to match the top two. So for Blind, been a race, he can be really happy with how his performance has been so far. He's battling for a podium, if not a race win at this point. We'll have to wait and see how those medium tyres hold up. But as it stands, he is battling for a Grand Prix victory. And if he's able to pick that up over at the top two are battling for the championship in this final race of the season, what an achievement that would be for him. We'll just have to wait and see, though, as look, Aiden has so much more confidence and he's got such a better race car in these dry conditions. He's able to stick with Nathan Samba on this safety car restart. And here we go then. To the inside goes Aiden's. We head into turn 9. Blind will be watching this one and just have to wait for his opportunity to arise as Aiden gets the move done into turn 9. He snatches back the race lead from Nathan Samba. These two will be squabbling all Grand Prix, and Aiden, now with the upper hand, of course was already leading the championship before that move was made, but has just cemented himself at the top of the standings. But still, we've got 12 laps of this Grand Prix to go, and it's still anyone's game.
The last few laps, Max, have gone very, very quickly, or is it just me? This is insane stuff, but we still don't know, realistically, how it's going to play out towards the end. We could get a late safety car that could change things as well. We are keeping an eye on the medium time runners to see how far they're doing and pushing at the moment. And it's not much of a difference between the hard compounded tyres. It's about 2% difference per lap, which is nothing at this stage. But wait till we get towards the end of the Grand Prix. That is when they're going to start to struggle. As we got Arnold, who's right on the back of Leroy. He's on the back of Nick as well in the background. Now, this is going to be harder than what we would expect in real life, as we got Nathan that gets the lead from Aiden. And we got some issues maybe in the background. We got Link to the inside of Matta. He sends a great dive into the chicane, but Matta is going to get the DRS from Lynx potentially as well. Horrific camera angle, by the way, so I'm going to go on board with him at the moment. We got a battle for the lead once again, so let's jump to it. Aiden to the outside, gets past the championship protagonist up into second place, and Blind is still in there too. Blind is on, well, I can't tell you what the tyre wear that the Blind's on, because he doesn't have TAS enabled. But for the top two, they're around about the same, around about ranging in the 10 and 11% range. So it's even Stevens for our top two. Fastest lap still belongs to Nathan Samba.
Yeah, it's been a really good race here from Nathan Samba, but again, Aiden just getting back by him. These two are just going to be, as I say, keep swapping positions as the laps go by. It's going to all be down to that final lap of proceedings, but you can't count out Larkin, Casper, Bryn, or Blind here, because they're all still in this train. That we could maybe see, for one of the first times this season, a 6-car battle for the race lead. That will be something extremely, extremely exciting to see when we've seen Nathan Samba and Aiden dominate in their own respective rights in certain races. Here comes Nathan Samba once again on Aiden. Could Blind now maybe go for a move? He's going to go for the pair of them to the inside. Could this be a 2-for-1 move into turn 6 and 7? No, Aiden fights back to the inside through turn 7. Blind tried it. I respect the commitment from the Haas driver. He is going all out for this race win in the final race of the season. He's got nothing to lose. The top two in front of him certainly do. Here comes Blind once again. He's now going to be on the inside for turn number 9. Can he get the X out of the corner? No, he cannot. Aiden holds on, but still, we have another 10 laps to go here in Abu Dhabi, and still, Blind is really racy in this one. He knows he's got nothing to lose, where the top two, they can't go all guns blazing and defend like their life depends on it, because they need those points for the championship, and one costly piece of contact will certainly end all hopes of a championship victory.
Yes, indeed. And look who's behind all of this as well. Bryn on the hard tyres. You could see how Blind is going to fare for the rest of this. We know Bryn is a bit more conservative with his tyres. That's what he's have to be to make sure that Aiden's title goes in his hands, and also the constructors as well. I do believe as it stands with Georgetown in 8th place, I do believe the constructors title will go to AlphaTauri at the end of this. So they're going to go side by side, as well as Nathan Samba and Aiden's still, well, Nathan's still ahead, but Bryn gets past Blind up into P3. Maybe not. No, Bryn's at the spin. Bryn's at the spin. Well, he's not going to help his teammate anymore because he's down in 8th place. Sorry, it was hard to keep on top of the battle there because there was so much going on, but Larkin is on the podium. Could he snatch a surprise result out of all of this? We've got Blind and Casper. Casper's in 5th as well. I'm a bit worried they could struggle with the mediums until the end of the race. If they want their races to go smoothly, they would want a late safety car to go onto the softs, as Bryn does get past George. But what a shame for Bryn there.
Yeah, real big shame for Bryn. He was on for a podium, but that's somewhat the story of his season, and that's summed it up big time as Arnold's made a mistake.
Oh, he's nearly done a Latifi. Bloody hell.
That could have been something to watch. Flashbacks to Abu Dhabi 2021, everybody, where the top 2 in the championship are battling over the championship heading in Abu Dhabi. Well, that will be something to withhold if we got a replay of that. But
oh, God.
Yeah, for Bryn, it's just been the story of his season. He's always been up there, always had the pace, but he's just had torrid luck. He could have certainly been someone in the championship battle if luck went his way this season. I mean, you could say that about everybody, but Bryn, he's always had the paces. Here comes Blind on Larkin. Casper could try follow his teammate through to the inside of the Alpine. Can't get it done, though. And Blind is able to get up into 3rd place. But Larkin will have the DRS heading into turn 9 as Aiden versus Nathan. What's going on between those two? Aiden's just happy to sit behind and build that battery and wait until that final lap. Probably a bit like what he did in the sprint. As there's Larkin on Casper and Blind. Casper to the outside. Can he pull this off? Alpine on the inside. The 2 Hasses on the outside. There's contact made. Larkin sent into a big slide. How he's kept that one out of the wall, I do not know. Casper ran off the circuit and picked up a 3-second time penalty. Blind in the middle of that, had nowhere to go really. It was like a ping pong ball in the middle, bouncing off Casper and Larkin, but he's able to keep into 4th place. But Casper with a really nice move, and Blind nearly dropped it, heading through the penultimate corner. If he did, that would have been such a perfect race unravelled for him. But for Blind, he thought he gained a position on Larkin, but ended up losing a position to his teammate at the same time.
We've got the one near the back, Max, who's going to go for the potential fastest lap point. Well, you have nothing to lose by being there, so why not? You're going to get more points from being where you are there in the back than if you stay where you are, potentially. So, this could be a good fight for that. As Nick's out of the... No, please don't tell me he binned it in the pit lane.
No, he's retired in the pit lane, I think.
Oh, he retired in the pit lane. Good. I mean, not good that he retired, but good that it wasn't a dramatic accident. Let's just say that.
It wasn't a 3rd time's the charm for a pit lane
because we saw
overshoot. Colin
do it. We see Conzo do it and Ben Mills. But yeah, I think it's a shame for Nick. At the end of the day, his season has not gone very well at times. As Casper goes round the outside of Blind. And these are 2 Haas teammates that have been fighting for a long time at this Grand Prix. You can't afford to fight like this because you're going to try... You have to conserve the tyres because it's hard to get those mediums to the end of this Grand Prix. But they're not going to give up without a fight. This is why we're in the P1 commentary box and not in the P1 race, because they can manage their tyres better. This is great stuff from ERT Casper and Blind. But it's allowing Larkin, Lynx, George, Bryn, Leroy, Matter, all in this fight. Leroy just gets time penalty, by the way, and going into the pit lane. He's still going to keep going. Aiden's right on the back of this. As it stands, Aiden will still win the title by 4 points. But look, Nathan Sam has made a mistake. Nathan Sam has made a mistake as Aiden still leads this Grand Prix from Nathan Samba. Aiden will probably have to have a horror show for Samba to win the title of this race, because this is great stuff as Arnold sets the fast lap of the race outside the top 10. As Larkin does get past Casper. I think he does. Yes, he does. He's past Casper, but Casper's going to get the DRS again in towards turn 7 and 8. I think Casper's going to maybe have the upper hand here, but you can see that I think Lynx could take advantage of this later on as the mediums start to become not the best tyres. I found out in my race earlier, but I'm starting to see certain drivers just make more mistakes as the pressure gets to them. And I think Samba is doing that maybe. I hope he's not under pressure too much.
The fact is, could that have been a tactical move by Nathan Samba, knowing that Aiden was behind to build that battery? And what he could do is now do the same thing. Yeah, and he could do the same thing now, could Nathan Samba, and just wait to the final lap to make that move. Because Aiden was surely going to get that move done on the final lap if he was able to sit behind. So for Nathan Samba, he might have just done the role reversal and tried to do the same thing here. Lynx has made a mistake. He's in the wall and he's contact with George as well. They're both off into the wall.
No!
They've both lost part of their front wings. And for George and Lynx, oh, that is so unfortunate for them. That is probably going to be them dropping to the back end of the points because they now have to do a full lap without a front wing. And for Nathan Samba up in front, is he going to go for a move on Aiden? No. Yes, that was it wasn't a mistake, Jess. It was a tactical maneuver by Nathan Samba to go wide into turn 5 because now he's able to sit behind with the DRS, build that battery, save his tyres, and now wait till lap 29 to make the move. It was an absolute masterclass of a display, but will it be enough for Aiden to not win this championship? I don't think it will because it's 4.1 to blind behind in the rest of the field. So I think it might just be for Nathan Samba. He wants to win this one, and this is the best way to do it. And
he wants to have some glory, even if he...
Yeah.
But to be fair, if... No offence, if he was here for the race he missed, he would have won the title.
Yeah, he certainly could have done, but that's what happens when you
can't
miss a race.
attend everything.
Yeah. Australia, but if you don't attend every race, championship rivals will capitalise on that and try to take as many points away from you as possible. And also, Jess, what was that comment about us being in the commentary box because we can't manage our tyres? I was a tyre whisperer back when I was racing. I'll point that out, but yeah.
I don't know your pace, so I should have
I used to be quick. Key word there, used to. But
you
yeah,
are quicker than me, let's just say that.
Nathan Samba sitting behind Aiden. And I think this is what we're going to be seeing the top two do for the rest of the Grand Prix. So I would say the main point of action now till lap 29 is going to be that battle for third place between Larkin, Blind and Casper, the two Hasses and the Alpine. As here comes Larkin on Blind into turn 9, gets the move done with the DRS.
Yep, I have to say, I know you're going to hate me for this and you're probably going to pick that person too. I think Larkin has been the superstar of today at the moment, and Blind too. Hardly any penalties. Larkin trying to avoid trouble. And he's always up there, I think, towards, like, probably pretty much top 10. But he's actually fighting for a podium. That just shows how much improved he has been this season. His best result was a podium in a sprint race in round 6. So he likes getting podiums in sprint races. Unfortunately, he was very unlucky in Baku, where he got a DNF. As pretty much from 6 downwards, by the way, they're all on the soft tyres. I don't think we're going to get a safety car because it's too late into this Grand Prix. So shoot out for 3rd, shoot out for P1 and 2. By the end of this, we will know who is the Drivers' Champion and who is the Constructors' Champion in each tier. But obviously pending stewards' inquiries. But I don't think they're going to fight this too much, as Nathan Samba is just going to wait until the prime opportunity. He knows he may not win in this scenario, but he's going to do this for absolute fun. These two are the reason why this championship has been so good between the pair of them. Ever so consistent. Samba's got the most wins, but Aiden's been the more consistent and picked up points where Samba has not. But usually it would be a situation where the ones who got the most wins will win the title. Well, if there's certain races where you DNF, then that probably doesn't help either. Because Larkin, round the outside of Blind, in towards turn 10. Beautiful stuff, up into 3rd place. And to be honest, them being on the medium tyres and everyone else 21 seconds behind, I don't think it's going to matter all too much. This is great stuff between all of them. I mean, this is like a battle between the McLaren and Aston Martin and Ferrari on track. This is, but this is between Alpine and two Hasses. I don't think we will get that in real life, of course, as we may go away to the third to last lap of this race, and it will be the end of One Hub Racing on F123. Sad times.
Yeah, unfortunately, it must come to an end on this game, but we'll be back on next game. So everyone look out for that as well. But can we talk about how Hazelarger has done the comeback of the century?
He has.
He was down in like 11th place at one point. He's
got penalties though.
It's only 3 seconds.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, Lakita's just got one, as we said that.
And Lakita's picked one, so he's not going to drop any places. So for Hazelarger, this has been the comeback performance of the season, really. Other than Aiden last time out, he's really been able to pick up that pace. But Bryn's been able to get past Mata. He tires him to get past Hazelarger as well. But on these softs, the Red Bull man has really shown what he is made of. Blind has got past Larkin into turn 9. These guys still scrapping over this one. Bryn to the inside of Hazelarger. How has he pulled that one off then? The AlphaTauri man was all over the curb. He was like a skateboard doing a grind rail. But no, Bryn was able to get the move done. But here comes Hazelarger with the DRS to the outside. We're going to have 3 wide. Mata to the inside of Hazelarger as well. Bryn, after getting 2 places in the space of 2 corners, drops down to 8th place, losing 2 places in the space of a straight. So Bryn now to the inside of Mata. Oh, he's tapped the back of Hazelarger. The Red Bull sent into a spin, and a really good comeback drive has been unravelled by unfortunate circumstances. And Bryn, I think that could be a penalty for him because he's gone straight into the back of the Red Bull.
Oh, here comes Nick St. George. They're fighting for position. Oh, and they almost gone off.
Oh, super unfortunate there, as I think someone was coming into the pit lane. Yeah, it was Hazelarger coming into the pit lane, probably for a retirement from the Grand Prix.
It's blind. Larkin again. Larkin to the inside. Can he get third? Yes, he does. Won the penultimate lap, Max. It's flying so much. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And it's all over for podium. And Larkin and Blind have not got any penalties. Here comes Blind, by the way, around the outside of Larkin. This is going to go on for many, many races. We're obviously waiting to see what happens with Aiden and Samba, but this is even more exciting.
Yeah, this is very, very exciting to see. But we are going to be starting the final lap of One Hub competitive racing here on F123. Of course, we've got the All-Star race, but this is the last one that means something for championship standings. This is the last competitive race here in this season. The last lap of the season begins now. Aiden needs to hang on from Nathan Samba, and will he be able to do so? But Nathan will have that DRS and the battery advantage, but he needs to wait for that second DRS zone. We've also got the battle for third going on. Will it be Larkin? Will it be Blind for that third place on the road? Here we go then. Nathan Samba, he's going to look for the move early. He's going now, is Nathan Samba, and he's got the move done on Aiden. But Aiden to the inside again, a late lunge by the AlphaTauri man. He's got the move back done again. But could that have been a send too early from the AlphaTauri? He could have waited for the DRS, but now Nathan Samba will get the run. He'll get the slipstream. He goes to the outside line. He's got to get this one done. Nathan Samba will lead this one on the road. Casper was able to get past Larkin. Here comes Larkin to the inside of the Haas driver. Aiden will have to sit behind Nathan Samba, you would think, for the rest of this Grand Prix. It's Larkin to the inside of Casper. Will he be able to get the move done? Casper holding it to the outside. He'll be on the inside now for turn 11. The Hassman trying to hold on to this one. He spins. He goes into a half slide. But Nathan Samba going to be coming up to the line. He's tried everything. He's done everything, but it won't work for him. But it'll be Aiden, who is your champion of the P1 tier. A brilliant season, topped off by a second place, which could have easily been a win. But for Nathan Samba, he can't say that he did not try everything. He comes second in the sprint. He won the feature race, but Aiden was just too good. And that's the story of how he's been this season. The consistency has been key for the AlphaTauri man, and he is your champion of P1 tier for the first time. And he will be absolutely ecstatic with that That is going to be a very, very memorable moment in his career for a long time to come.
And he's actually streaming tonight as well on his Twitch. I would love to see the reaction to that title as well. So if anyone's watching Aiden stream, if someone can clip that for me, then that'll be great to put on our socials as well, just to see what it means to a driver as well. And I think for all champions, it'll be great if we can get that as well. But just like that, season 24 is over. Of course, we've got the All-Star race, but we're going to have to pick our driver of the days for the minute. But Nathan has got the most wins this season. He can have his head how high. But even though Aiden had the advantage going into this, he had to work with it with Sam. But that was the best racing from the two of them that I've seen all season.
Yeah, that was really good racing from the pair of them. Overall, that was something to watch. And I mean, they were always with each other. They were always swapping positions. Probably the closest we've seen them throughout a Grand Prix in a long, long time. And I think what really cemented Aiden as a championship-worthy driver was that drive last time out where he had that collision with Ben Mills, but still fought back to a race victory, and it's worked out in his favour. But for Nathan Samba, it's just really unlucky for him. He's tried everything, but it's just not worked at all. And I feel so sorry for him, but consistency was key for Aiden this season. He come out on top, and that's exactly what he would have wanted. So for Aiden, it's the season that gets topped off with a championship in his debut season as well. So well done to Aiden for that one. The rookie takes the title.
The rookie takes the title indeed. We'll run through your results then for the feature race. Nathan Samba wins from Aiden, and just like that, it's raining again. There we got Blind from Larkin, Casper, Bryn, Lakitu, Arnow, Mata, Lynx, George, Leroy are your finishers and your point scorers. And your retirements are Nick, Ben, and Conzo. And I didn't see the rest of it, and Cam's going to kill me. But the rest of them were retirements anyway. So that is it then. But we've got a few more things to do, haven't we, before we wrap up? First of all, driver of the day. I'm going to let you go first, as I went first last week. Who would you like to go for, and what would you like to ask him?
I'm going to go for Blind on this one.
Good shout.
And I'm going to say, heading into this race, of course, we had the sprint race reverse grid. Were you thinking you were going to be able to stick up the front with the top drivers in this division? Or did you just think you would drop back slightly and not be able to fight for that podium? But overall, a really good podium there from Blind. Sorry.
I'm finding it so hard to choose between Aiden and Samba, because you've got to put into perspective the sprint weekend as well. I know I'm not allowed. I'm gonna ask if we could go for both Aiden and Samba and have a 3-man poll, because both of them equally deserve it. They both made their way through the field absolutely insanely. I just don't know. I really don't know. Oh, this is probably the hardest drive of the day that I've given, because two of them equally deserve it, but I can only give it out to one person. So I'm gonna have to give it to the champion. I'm gonna have to give it to Aiden, because he won the sprint. He just missed out on the win. But my question from him is gonna be very simple. Congratulations on your first ever One Hub Racing driver's title. Did you ever think you were going to lose it, or were you comfortable going into this one? And what was your first reaction when you crossed the line? So those were my questions. We usually go through the rest of the calendar, but as you can see, we've done all 12 races. We started in Australia in January, and we ended with a sprint in Abu Dhabi. And it was one of the best races of the season. I really enjoyed it. My voice is pretty much dead. Sum up the thoughts of season 24. What did you think? Your second season commentating on One Hub Racing. What do you think?
It was just a fantastic season overall. We had our not boring races, but the drier races, but you get that within a season. But yeah, it was really good. A brilliant way to end off the season as well with that final race. Really high attrition. And yeah, overall, it was a fantastic second season, and I would say, better than the first. So, yeah, very, very excited for what's to come. I should be back next season, Jess, so you'll be happy to
Yay!
hear that. I will, should be returning, but yeah, I'll let everyone know in due course, but it is looking likely I'll be back for a third season here in One Hub. But yeah, looking forward to the future, and also well done to everybody who competed this season. It's a very tough field, and to get a podium or just even scoring points, it's fantastic to see and participate in. So yeah, well done to everybody. Well done to everyone in the lower tiers as well. I wasn't able to watch them, of course, due to work, but yeah, congratulations onto the championship winners there as well. But yeah, it was a very, very good season, and probably shows the signs of an exciting future here for One Hub.
Yeah, we have 3 champions have been crowned tonight. The first time in a while where all 3 tiers have gone down to the final race. We have M125 who started the night off, won in the P3 tier. It went all down to the final lap in P2, but it was Webcam that won that one in P2. And in P1, we just witnessed Aiden become and win its first ever title. We also had AlphaTauri win the Constructors in P1, so massive congratulations to you. And in P3 tier, we had the Haas team win the Constructors tonight, so well done to them too. But we got some thank yous to make. Of course, we'd like to thank yourself, Max, for joining me in the commentary box every week. You said your thank yous anyway, so I'd like to say thank you to you as well. Thank you to, obviously, Larkin and to Colin for organising this tier so effectively and making sure the lobbies are set up every week. So without them, there would be no P1 tier. Of course, thank you to the stewards. Thank you to all the drivers that have been rated. Thanks to all the commentators. I will fully do proper thank yous later on, but thank you to all the commentators and all the tiers. Without them, there'll be no streams. Thank you to all our sponsors as well. Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, Aztec Sim Sports, Vespertine, ERT, and SimGrid, as well as Mental Health Foundation. Don't forget, it is time to talk. If you're feeling down a little bit, make sure you check very, very soon as well. And, of course, thank you to all the management as well at One Hub for making this league what it is. So we're going to wrap things up. Next week, we've got the end of review stream. It is going to be on the 28th of April, so in about a week's time. And we will tell you the time on social. So make sure you keep an eye at One Hub Racing. Follow us on Instagram as well at One Hub Racing. And subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. And then in about 2 weeks' time after that, it will be the All-Star Race. More information about that next week. So for myself and Max, and to all the commentators, all the drivers at One Hub Racing, have a good evening, and we will see you next season on F124. Until then, I need to find the ending soon stream. There we go. Bye-bye.